Strength is not merely of the body, but of the mind and spirit. I am Milo of Croton, the greatest wrestler of my time, a warrior of unmatched might, and a symbol of the power that man can achieve through relentless discipline and training. My name has echoed through the centuries, a legend of raw strength and indomitable will. I did not simply conquer my opponents. I overwhelmed them. This is my story. I was born in Croton, a Greek city in southern Italy, in a time when our people believed strength and discipline were the highest virtues a man could possess. From a young age, I was different. I was stronger than the other boys, quicker to learn the arts of combat, and hungrier for the taste of victory. My people, the Crotoniates, were famed for their warriors and athletes. But I knew that I was destined to stand above them all. Under the guidance of our greatest trainers, I honed my body to perfection. Wrestling was my calling, and I embraced it with an unrelenting spirit. My diet was one of excess to fuel my training. I consumed massive amounts of meat, bread, and wine, ensuring my body remained powerful and tireless. Some say I ate 20 pounds of meat and 20 pounds of bread daily, drinking vast amounts of wine to sustain my immense strength. To them, it seemed inhuman, but to me, it was the only way to forge myself into the warrior I was destined to be. My legend began in the great games of Greece, where I proved myself against the finest athletes of the known world. I entered the Olympic Games 6 times, and 6 times I left as the victor in wrestling. No man could match my power. My grip was unbreakable, my balance unshakable, my will unyielding. I did not merely defeat my opponents. I crushed them, twisted them, forced them into submission with a strength they could not comprehend. My method of overpowering my enemies was simple. I grabbed them and lifted them off the ground, rendering them helpless before slamming them to the earth. Many left the ring broken, not just in body, but in spirit, knowing they had faced something beyond mere human strength. My victories extended beyond Olympia. I won 7 titles at the Pythian Games, 10 at the Isthmian Games, and 9 at the Nemean Games. There was no equal to me in the world of men. I dominated the sport for nearly 3 decades, a feat unheard of, for most athletes fated long before that. But I was different. I was stronger. I was relentless. And yet, my strength was more than physical. The philosophers of Croton, Pythagoreans, men of wisdom, taught me that the body and mind must be one. I walked among them, learning the harmony of thought and form. I was not merely a brute. I was a warrior philosopher, the perfect balance of reason and power. My strength was not confined to the arena. When my city needed me, I became a soldier. When the forces of Sybaris, our rivals, threatened Croton, I fought with the same ferocity that had made me a legend in the games. Clad in my lion skin, wielding a mighty club, I led my people to victory. They say I fought like Heracles himself, striking down my enemies with a force that shattered their bones and spirit alike. The war was won, and my name became more than that of a champion. It became the symbol of an indomitable people. I was not just a soldier, I was the leader of Croton's elite warriors, an army trained to be as disciplined in battle as I was in the ring. Under my command, we crushed Sybaris, destroyed their city, and proved that Croton was the mightiest in the region. But all men, no matter how mighty, must face their fate. As I aged, my strength remained, but I sought to test it in one final way. In the depths of the forests, I found a great tree, split but unbroken. With my bare hands, I sought to tear it apart completely, to prove that my power was still beyond mortal limits. I wedged my hands into the crack and pulled with all my might. The tree did not yield. Instead, it closed upon me, trapping me in its wooden prison. For all my strength, I could not free myself. No man was there to hear my cries, no friend to come to my aid. The beasts of the forest, those creatures I had long dominated through might alone, came for me in the night. The wolves circled, and the legend of Milo ended not in the arena, not on the battlefield, but in the jaws of the wild. Some say this was the god's way of humbling me, that no man, no matter how great, could escape his fate. Others say it was the ultimate test of my endurance, one that no human could ever win. But this was not an end, it was a transformation. Legends are not bound by flesh. Though my body was lost, my name did not die. For centuries, I have been remembered as the greatest wrestler of antiquity, the strongest man who ever lived. My feats of power, my unwavering will, my pursuit of physical and mental perfection, these have been my true immortality. They say that I carried a bull on my shoulders as part of my training, growing stronger as the bull grew. They say that I could snap ropes with a single flex of my muscles, that I could crush stones in my fists. These are not mere tales. They are truths, for I was Milo of Croton, and I was strength itself. In my time, I was more than a man. I was a force of nature, a titan in the flesh. And though time may wear away the greatest of temples, my name remains, spoken in awe by those who seek to understand the limits of human potential. A man is not measured by his years, but by the force of his will. Strength fades, but legends endure.